99.5 FM WBAI in the NY. What's good, all you sexy mother suckers? If you don't know, you should know. This is Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
And if you don't know who I am, you should know who I am. It is the Trinidadi, Panamanian Poppy, Rude Boy, Top Gunner, Suck Panyamada, Giovanni Anglin, Shayo.
Yo, what's going on? It's Bash, and this is a recording live from LA, Gio, in Brooklyn. What's going on, folks?
The song right now you hear in the background is no other than Burna Boy. This is Science off of his latest album, Love Domini. Not to worry, we're going to get into that album later on in the program. But before we get to that, we want to thank everyone, as always, for tuning into the show. If you don't know, you should know that this is available on all DSPs, digital streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, and more. But also, hey, if you'd like to leave a comment, if you'd like to share your thoughts, your ideas, if you want to drop some music as well, please go to our email address, which is blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. Once again, blackseinfeldny@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms, such as Instagram and Twitter, Black Seinfeld NY, as well as our TikTok, Black Seinfeld NY. Bashin, LA, man, how are you? You have a blurry background. What's that about?
I'm doing well. Just it's getting hot in here. The one thing I haven't gotten used to is waking up in the heat. Even in this beautiful weather, normally it's maybe because of how the apartment is designed, it stays a little cool. But when you wake up in the heat, it does feel a bit weird. I heard there's like a whole heat wave going on in New York. How are you feeling?
There is a whole heat wave thing going on in New York right now. It is disgusting. There is nothing but humidity going on, and it's not good if you have hair like mine and it gets frizzy way too quickly. It's not good for that. So I implore people, if you suffer the same fate that I do, please just put your hair in a bun, wear a hat, or as Caribbeans say, wear a cap, just in case if you suffer the same fate that I do. If you profuse a lot, hey, I got some tips for y'all. Make sure y'all bring some shower wipes with y'all. I'm telling you, it's nice. I sweat a lot through my face, so I take some nice little shower wipes. You know, it's shower on the go, and I clean up. I'm telling you, man, this sticky summer. It's a sticky summer out here, and I need y'all to be clean out here. I don't need y'all smelling like funk and must.
Yeah, you might have to use that deodorant with the aluminum in it. I know most people try to, choose another one, something a little bit more eco-friendly, but if it could hold, the precipitation over your armpits.
Yeah, miss me with all that eco-friendly. I'm sorry. Okay, listen, I love the earth too. We always talk about how earth conscious we are, how earth friendly we are here at Black Seinfeld, but I'm telling you, I'm sure the earth will understand. Okay, I'm sure the earth will understand that, smelling good and having better hygiene, especially throughout this hot summer weather that we're experiencing, I'm sure they will understand.
Yeah, I definitely think so. But I also understand that people with bad BO, they understand when someone else is sweating too. The most they could do is just kind of stand back, because putting them on the spot is like, yo, what's going on here? It's like we're all sweating the same.
Yeah, there's never an appropriate way to tell someone, hey, like, you're not really smelling good. I've tried many different ways to come about it in the most respectful way as possible. I always try doing it in a one-on-one isolated situation, like, hey man, like, everything okay, bro? You like, but it doesn't work, because people take offense to it. When I'm not trying to be offensive, I'm just trying to let them know, like, hey man, you scaring away the girl them, so I gotta, it's hard out here, man. Every summertime when it gets this crazy, I try to take at least 3 showers a day. 3.
You're wasting a lot of water there, buddy.
I don't care. Don't miss me with all that, man. My hygiene is more important, Bastion. Your hygiene should be more important too. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a balance, especially what's going on in the world today. We are losing a lot of water resources, and most states are going to deal with that issue. They're also dealing with a lot of electricity issues as well. So there are spots, I forget where, I think spots in Texas, they are telling people, it's like, slow down with the AC unless you want a massive blackout into the power grid. So electricity and water, all those things are going to kind of eat at us in the future. So I always tell people, I try to tell myself, it's really difficult taking a shower less than 8 minutes.
Right. See, I understand that.
It's all about the soap too. So, get a good scrub and then, kind of move on.
But also you have to see, what I suggest is you get like an exfoliant mitt. You know what I'm saying? That scrapes away the dead skin cells away from you. So get an exfoliant mitt. That's fire out here. I'm telling you. Look at us here at Black Seinfeld putting y'all on the beauty tips. We some real ones out here.
Yeah, I always go to my Dove soap.
Dove soap is good. Or, if you're one of those, shea butter people, I know y'all like your African black soap. I know about the African black soap.
I think we discussed there's other types of soaps too, especially down in the sunny states, just like Florida, where it kind of makes your skin even lighter.
Yeah.
You know about that. You should know about that.
Of course I do.
They have that in Trinidad, like crazy.
They have that in Trinidad. They have that in Jamaica. They have that in a lot of Indian cultures as well, man. I mean, I know y'all seen Vibes Cartel, all right? Sammy Sosa.
It's no longer a brown. It's not even white. It's like a washed, bleach brown shirt that turned a little pinkish.
That is sick.
The best way to describe how unsafe it is. So if you ever go to those countries and they hand you a soap, the first thing you should do is look at the box that it came in, or just do what like my parents always say, just bring your own soap. Those soaps, small box, it's like 3x4, put that in your suitcase.
Jeez.
You should bring your own soap if you go on vacation too. You don't know what's out there.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't know what you're going to put on your face.
Oh, absolutely. I always recommend when traveling, make sure you bring your own stuff when traveling, because hotels may not have the soap you want, or you may be allergic to the soaps that they have, so always bring your own toiletries, your own travel size stuff if you want to do that. I know it looks cute to some of y'all, but that's very important. And make sure you don't carry it on with you to the plane, because you might have to throw all that stuff out. Put it in the bag.
Yeah.
You feel me? Put it in the suitcase. You dig? That's like amateur hour. You have to put it in the suitcase.
My traveling back and forth from New York to LA these past 2 months has taught me, like, over the past couple of months, I have increased what I have on my toiletry. So in terms of, like, I have a separate soap for washing my face, right? And I've bought a different type of moisturizer, and also have a toner.
That's right.
Yeah, I pretty much have different type of things going on.
Exactly.
And my case it's okay, but sometimes when I throw everything in the case, it looks overstuffed. So some days you gotta make small sacrifices. But so far, I'm pretty good with what I have. I know if I had the more expensive stuff, it would be a problem. Maybe I have to carry around 2 different type of toiletry bags.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that you're bringing up a lot of the expensive brands, because I bought some of the more expensive brand due to Amazon Prime Day that's going on currently. And I don't know if you know this, but Target had their own little situation going on called Target Day, which happened a couple days before Amazon Prime Day. So I was able to get some new toiletries, some new face cleansers. I got some stuff from Bevel because it's Black owned. Shout out to the Bevel guy, signature fade with the bevel blade. That's the major key. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to hear that a lot from 2015 to 2017 in the podcast sphere.
Yes. A lot of especially Black podcasters were sponsored by Bevel.
Interesting marketing tactic. But
absolutely.
Yeah. It's funny when we're looking at Amazon and they're going through a lot. Of course, they've always been through a lot. We always spoke about them on the show, especially now. Most spots are being unionized, and we're hopefully more spots at Amazon become more United. Same thing at Starbucks as well. And every time I look at the Amazon deal, which I think is about to end, as we're recording the show,
It is.
it was 2 days. It was the 12th and the 13th. And I was looking at these deals. One of the headphones I use is the Beats Fit Pro, and I love them. They use the Apple, what is it, the AirPod technology.
Yes,
so
it's the AirPod tech
headphones.
Yes.
And it's like $200, and it was on deal for $160. It's like, I wonder who's making the cut. Is it Amazon that's telling them, hey, bring the deal down so you could sell more of this? Or is the company understanding it's like, hey, this day is coming, we should use this day only to bring the deals down in order to kind of clean up our back end so we could produce more?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe we should hit up our guy Jeff Bezos and let him give us a bit of clarification on that. So I would call him right now, but it's 12 o'clock midnight here in the city, so I don't want to ruin my one good Jeff Bezos call for Black Seinfeld.
But it's like a Black Friday event.
It is a Black Friday event
times 4, and it's for the average consumer, for I could say the average Amazon user. And it's strange to say that, because for some things you could just walk to the store to do it, but now I'm out in LA where everything's so far away, and it's the heat too, and I don't got a car, so why would I go outside if I could just order everything, just wait 2 days for it to come through? Nothing's that urgent.
That's the brilliance of having Amazon and having Target and having a lot of these shop from home apps now. That's the beauty of it, because like you said, if you live in an area now which requires you to have a car and you don't have access to it, hey, we can bring it home to you. So it's beautiful that you have that, man. I'm happy that you're able to, still get the essentials that you need, and, even splurge on some things you don't need.
I always thought, it's like, how would the world be without Amazon? And I say it will probably be a little bit better in terms of the stores that are out there.
It'd be
like
2010.
Barnes & Noble will still exist.
It'd be 2010. That's what it would be like.
2010? I think there'll be more stores, because with Amazon's existence, does the energy of 2-day shipping still happen?
No.
So with that formula, with that chaotic energy gone, I'm not waiting 5 or 7 days for a package if I could just go downtown or go somewhere for a couple of hours and take it home immediately. So, and true. Also inventory will be a little bit more dispersed equally. So let's say you wanted the Apple laptop, you got the Apple Store versus Best Buy, and now there isn't this online thing where the Apple Store has everything in stock and they can ship it to you, compared to no, we only have it in store stock and you have to check online to see if we have it in stock.
Hell, even Target. Hell, yeah, even Target now as well. But also, here's the thing about Amazon as well. It's the fact that they own a lot of things now. They own Twitch. They own a lot of they own Whole Foods, I believe, as well. And because Amazon Prime is so huge now, and essentially many people are Amazon Prime users and Amazon Prime holders, you can go to these stores, and if you have Amazon Prime, they'll give you, certain groceries at a discounted Amazon Prime price, as well as the Amazon bookstore as well. I know we have a couple here in the city, and if you go to the Amazon bookstore, there's going to be books available for you, and if you are a Prime holder, they'll sell it to you for the Prime price, which is more an incentive for you to buy Prime, get those discounts.
It is interesting, but I think the most important money aspect for Amazon is the AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, which is pretty much the cloud computing platforms and APIs. And a lot of companies use that to store their data.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure if we ever make a website, it's going to be connected to the Amazon Web Services, and that's how they'll be able to keep our website alive too. So that's another important thing. Nice. One of the biggest thing that Amazon's owned as well.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's super important. It's literally the internet. I don't know what percentage it was. I think it was 1/3 of major websites are connected to the AWS service.
Okay, damn. Well, Amazon running the world, damn it. It's right up there with Disney.
Yeah. So that's a lot of things is going on in the world.
Bruh, the world is crazy, and we are only in July. Well, we've basically reached the half point of July, and all this crap has been happening in July, Bastion. I don't know what the hell's happening in the world, man. We have monkeypox.
What's going on?
We have monkeypox running rampant here in the city. We have Hunter Biden out here smoking crack and getting the bop on camera in 4K. We have Doja Cat beefing with Will from Stranger Things about Eddie Munson. For those of you who don't know Eddie Munson, please watch season 4 of Stranger Things. Bastion, you're doing yourself a big disservice right now. Please join the global sensation. Please, you at home, you in LA, you're not doing anything. Stop rolling your eyes. You're not doing anything. Watch the show, damn it.
I do so much when I'm not watching TV. This is something I complain about with my girlfriend, where she could watch the show and still be able to function, compared to me. I cannot function if there's shows in the background. But vice versa, I could function listening to music. She cannot. So yeah,
okay.
I need music in the background if I'm doing small tasks, and I'm able to knock it out the park.
I'm similar to you in that I also need music in the background to help me concentrate, to keep me in focus. But also we have, what else happened this month? Oh, the former Japanese prime minister got assassinated. I'm not too butthurt on that, so, whatever. Yeah, that's right.
Do you know much about it?
All I know, like, he was like a crazy, like, far right-wing dude, and people didn't really rock with him like that. Because I saw you liking a Twitter post about that. So I'm like, oh, all right, never mind then.
It's really complicated, and I'm learning so much from it too. Like, I knew only surface level a while ago, but it is far right, but they've been in charge of the country for like the better long since like World War II.
Wow.
Yeah, so I always recommend, like, go online, learn about the history, learn about his grandfather and what he's done and stuff. It's very complicated.
I hear you, man. Oh, of course, the man who shall not be named is marrying one of his victims. I'm not gonna lie to you and saying that I'm not shocked to hear this, because I mean, that man pretty much lost everything. So I mean, that's it. That's all I have to say about that.
One thing, let's go back slow down a little bit. Let's talk about monkeypox and how, especially in New York, there's
vaccination sites.
Vaccination sites in New York. And from what I'm reading, that it's getting a little complicated because they're doing a different system compared to just using the COVID system. Is that true?
That is what I've been hearing as well. Yes.
So I think that's very messed up in a way. And I've been, how you talk about TikTok? Well, I've been looking at TikTok recently, but this time I want to control the formula. So I'm just trying to make it show me like food recipes. Like, that makes sense.
Oh, I got you with I have the TikTok creators that specify in
but I don't want like different ways to make chicken, different ways to cook beef. Like, I need vegetables,
Right, of course.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Give me some masala or something.
No, I could put you on the pasta talk. I know you love your pasta. I could put you on to that. You're Haitian. Haitians love spaghetti. They love pasta. I never
knew where that came from. I've never met a Haitian. Well, yes, I have.
You said that was a Chris Rock joke.
Spaghetti in. No, it's more than that. It's truth. It's truth. It's not a joke. It's true. Anyways, monkeypox is popping up everywhere. Yes. TikTok is a very interesting place to get information, for especially first-hand account. It's one thing is Twitter, because everything's so active. Another thing is like articles online, opinion pieces, but who can really write? No one could write. Anyways, it's always interesting listening to people's
experiences with it
and experiences. And there was this one woman that was talking about how she went to the doctor many times. They keep sending her to other doctors. She called the CDC. CDC had no idea what to do with it. And I'm only going to examine that one part, because when she called the CDC and they didn't know how to react to the questions that she had, the first thing that came to my mind, especially working in like the corporate settings, like, It's all about training, right?
Yes.
It's all about emails. Like you get this email, you have to read it the same day you get it. You're checking emails for either your clients or company updates. So at the end of the day, your manager is like, at the beginning of the day, your manager is like, who read the email and who didn't read the email. Sometimes they take time and write the email. Shout out to y'all. I'm going to skim it still. Anyways, the CDC isn't informed, or the people, like any random person you called, and you need the answers. You take it from us. I do the research online. I give you the answers, but you shouldn't. I'm sure be your third time understanding a certain source,
right?
Especially during like last year, COVID. Yeah, we all had the conversation about it, but this is something new. It's not new to the world, but it's new to the U.S. Most people never heard of monkeypox.
Right.
And that's a problem. Some doctors never heard of it, and when you call CDC, they never heard of it too. So where's the information coming from top to bottom? Is there a hierarchy? Now I got to diss Biden after his cool son did something crazy. And it's like, did he not implement new rules? Did I not pay attention? Like, did he not implement anything for the CDC to combat any type of new pandemic,
honestly,
disease, to make sure that nothing happens?
All right, and this is just pure speculation here. This isn't based on any sort of facts here at Black Seinfeld. This is me speaking, Giovanni. I'm just purely speculating. I know for a fact that they fully don't understand the monkeypox, and I still think that this is a new learning experience for the CDC, for the president, for these new doctors. And unfortunately, because we were dealing with COVID for the past 2 years, I think more attention is still drawn to that. I don't think they were anticipating a new disease to have an outbreak here in the US. I know that scientists were expecting a new strain of COVID. I know that the cases here in New York are going back up again.
I'm gonna have to stop you there real quick,
go for it.
CDC literally stands for Centers of Disease Control and Prevention.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, of
so
course.
It's not expecting another disease. Like, they have to be on the look at all times. So going back to the corporate job life thing,
but I don't expect them to come up with a cure or to come up with like ways to help prevent it within a day off of a new virus that they don't know about.
Well, the thing is, that's what I said before. It's not new. Like, there are vaccines available for it.
Oh, Americans are ignorant.
No, but all right. This is worse than ignorance. This is, I don't know, forced ignorance.
This is on brand.
So apparently, they knew that the monkeypox could be a thing months ago, right? And the European Union, like, they have their own type of CDC equivalents.
Okay.
And they have the information. They said, hey, we have the vaccine. It's totally safe. And a lot of our countries and companies here have the vaccine vials, right? CDC, which is strangely enough, they don't have much information about it, so they wanted to make their own research. The thing is, they haven't done it. They haven't really done it to the point where it was very hard to kind of like find like news reports. I really hate how I found the New York Post explained it better than most sites, but this was kind of hard to believe it's a thing. But like, apparently America spent like $2 billion to get like over 2 million vials of like vaccines in Europe. But the thing is, the CDC doesn't approve it because they haven't tested it out, even though the Europeans over there said, no, it's all good. Like, we tested it. We did all the research and everything. So that's kind of the combat energy that we're in right now, where, it could be like, hey, we've dealt with this before and we know how to deal with it. So you could either listen to us, or you could take a year and then 2 years for you guys to figure it out. And by then, there's a super outbreak, which is happening right now in New York.
So essentially what you're saying is America is being America.
Sometimes I think it's like we live in a globe world full of information.
Yes.
How come most of our things aren't connected? Like, the CDC should be connected to the Europeans, right? Like, shouldn't at one point in time just be one whole entity where we just constantly talk and get and send information to each other? just in case anything happens that one side of the world is aware, where we don't have what happened in many countries in Africa where they just pretty much gave up trying to get the COVID vaccine.
Basha,
right?
what I tell you about looking at the brighter side here in America? What I tell you about that? That isn't profitable for us, Bastion. Someone here has to figure out the vaccine so they can sell it, okay, and make money from it.
It's profitable on both ends because now you're reaching a global. Hey, we want to talk business? Let's talk business.
No, they want to do it the American way, Bastion. No, the American way. The American way. That's not the American way.
You could still screw over Americans that's what most companies do. Most companies have two prices, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have world price and American price, right?
Mm-hmm.
You try to buy this medication, let's say medication X in Europe is like $12, maybe like 60 cents per pill. Over here in America, it could be $400 per pill, and then your insurance pays it. But they kind of debate now. They're kind of paying $60 per pill. That's how the system works here, right?
Martin Shkreli things.
Martin Shkreli things, but he didn't go to jail for that. Anyway,
isn't he out now?
Yeah, he's out.
Damn it!
But he's banned on all social media, so we can.
Oh, he is. Damn.
That's the thing. It's like you gotta leave certain villains available for access in certain places.
Yeah. Do you remember when he
like Trump tweets and stuff?
Where you remember when Martin Shkreli had goons around him talking ish to Ghostface Killer? What a wild time we were in. That dude was
good times.
It was the closest thing we had to a Bond villain since ever before Jeff Bezos came into prominence. Like it was Martin Shkreli.
I was kind of upset that Ghost took it seriously, but I think he had to.
Yeah.
And I think Martin knew that he had to too, and that's where the joke really came in. But yeah, he didn't go to jail for that. He went to jail for tax evasion.
Right.
Which is always so funny for me.
Yeah, I know.
And let's not get into the woman that divorced her husband to marry him.
Yeah. That's all nasty. But back to the vaccine stuff here in America.
So you're right. I am looking at it. I'm hoping to look at it in a positive light,
as you normally do.
Because you just can't both be nihilists on it doesn't make for good radio.
That's true.
So we hoping that the CDC could do something like actually operate the way it's supposed to operate, especially during the end of the Obama administration when the swine flu became a thing and he realized how bad it could have been. So he put more money into it. Of course, Trump took the money out, but now Biden's back in. So you got to kind of pump the money back into it because we see how, weak society is.
Yes.
It's like when, we black men, once we get sick, we are not men anymore. We're weak. We are just, lying down on the floor,
right,
hoping this sickness could get over. Then once we're back, right?
That is very true. I haven't said anything about black men getting sick from monkeypox. I'm keeping my mouth shut this time. I'm not saying a damn thing. I'm not jinxing it. Apparently, on Twitter, there are some men out there, black men that have been in line for the monkeypox vaccine. And according to them, 95% of the line are all white men. So, I'm keeping my mouth shut. In hopes and in prayers that we're gonna be okay from this, and we're gonna be strong and survive from the monkeypox. I think.
What's the point of having all this technology if you can't use it properly?
I said what I said. I am being as politically correct as possible. I've learned from 2 years ago.
It's all nonsense.
It is all nonsense.
Let's get into the first song. Let's put some vibes on.
What vibes do you want to play for us this evening? Well, this night or morning, since it's technically morning here. And all right, what do you want to play, man?
I'm gonna play a nice ballad from my man Joji. All right, this is a new single he dropped. He has dropped music in like 2 years. Always makes great music. Check this song out. It's called "A Glimpse of Us."
That was Joji, or I'm old enough to remember him as Filthy Frank, with "A Glimpse of Us." Do you remember the Filthy Frank days on YouTube, Bastion?
I didn't grow up on that side of YouTube, and I'm kind of happy I didn't.
Good.
But I was aware of it. I'm very aware about what they were doing.
Yeah.
Especially what he was doing. and I'm kind of glad that he, cleaned it up. He cleaned
Mm-hmm.
it up just in time, and he always had it. It's like when you have talent, but you're putting it in the wrong energy, in the wrong field.
Mm.
So yeah.
Okay.
But what's your thoughts on the song?
Oh, I thought it's a very beautiful song, and when I was listening to it, I'm like, damn, this dude was really Filthy Frank at one point. Because I grew up on that crazy ass side of YouTube where you can literally get away with a lot of stuff on YouTube before they cleaned it up. YouTube was the wild, wild west back in the day for all of you listeners out there who have not been around YouTube during like its infancy during 06, 07, 08, 09.
I think if
10.
you weren't focused on YouTube by 2011, you missed out.
Yes.
Because by the end of 2011 to 2013, that's when things were making a shift.
Yes.
Writers were no longer allowed to say nonsensical things on Twitter, which used to get them that job. Now it's the opposite. You could actually lose the job for the nonsensical things you
Absolutely.
used to say. So times has definitely changed for the better. I always thought the sound very James Blake type.
I can hear that. Definitely by the sound, not so much by his voice though. His voice seems to be a bit more mellow than James Blake's more melancholy tone that he has throughout his songs.
Yeah.
Joji sounds a bit more angelic to me.
Yeah, I see that too. All right, let's get into our next topic of the day.
Yes.
It's a nonsensical topic, but
Not
it
really.
is something interesting.
We mentioned Twitter and your former boss before about Elon Musk wanting to purchase Twitter and being in talks with Twitter and getting his bank and his lawyers all together to liquidate some of his assets so he can pay for Twitter, because Twitter was being sold in the billions apparently, and so you can't physically just
roughly up to $44 billion.
$44 billion, which I think is an asinine number for Twitter, for me personally. But hey, you just can't go out and just go into your wallet and give a company $44 billion. No, a lot more legal stuff has to happen, and like I said before, liquidizing all that stuff had to happen, and now it seems like we've reached a halt, a screeching halt within this journey, if you will, Bastion.
I think we're still in the beginning of the saga. It's like if this is a 3-act part, we're definitely near the end of Act 1, where he hypes it up, says he's interested in buying it, and then pulls the rug. Said, hey, we've been trying to understand how much percentage of Twitter has bots on it, and they haven't given us the answer. So I'm going to use that as a reason not to buy it. In my opinion, I think he's head over heels. Like, yeah, you're the richest man, but you don't got no 44 billion what? It's not liquid. It's like, you don't even have, do you have like 12 million or 10 billion dollars?
Right.
I forgot the percentage that he did have to put up. I think it was maybe $4 or $8 billion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Twitter is suing Elon Musk. And I did a little research, and this case happens to be in the Delaware Court of Chancery. And this court is the Court of Equity, and in America, and it's going to be in Delaware.
Why Delaware? Do you know why?
So no, not really. I think it's just one of the courts, because there's a couple courts like that, because most courts have like 3 constitutionals: the Supreme, Superior, and then you have your equity. So Delaware has their equity court, and I think they're very familiar with equity type cases just like this. So anything dealing with purchasing and like buying rights.
Interesting.
So that's kind of the focus of the courts. And I was learning a little bit more of it. Like I said, it's like some information I've heard once in the past and never really deep dive into it. But like the Court of Chancery actually goes all the way back to European times, because most of the things we use in the United States is from Europe anyways.
Yes.
And it just has to do with like, property or ownership and business and all of those type of things as well. So, the Court of Equity or Chancery Court is a court that is authorized to apply principles of equity as opposed to those of law to cases brought before it. So, there's issue, you could bring it over there and they'll be able to have the experts to actually understand what's going on in the conversation and not some random judge that, went to law school. So,
do you think, well, I'd like
oh,
to,
and also a quick example, like the United States bankruptcy court. That's an example of a chancery court.
oh, okay. Well, I was going to ask a question. Why do you think Twitter wants to sue Elon Musk? Were they really banking on him actually purchasing Twitter, or?
Yeah, I would like to think so. I would like to think this deal is a deal that they're trying to get maybe for years. They're probably on the low. We're trying to sell Twitter for years, but they couldn't find, and what makes Twitter very difficult to even sell is like, is it profitable?
Right.
Is the money that is being generated through ads, which is very easy to ignore, really helpful?
Exactly. And not to mention, yes, Twitter has its own premium, but a lot of those premium users are pretty far in between too. Not to mention, this is a free site, so again, you don't see or hardly see any ads. It's where's the real value and what's the real asset of Twitter? I think, to me at least, Twitter has and is becoming one of the most prominent news reliances for a lot of people, for a lot of users, because I know for me personally, I'm not on the news consistently. I don't watch CNN 24/7. I don't watch Fox News. I don't watch MSNBC, but I will check my Twitter, and I do follow people who I consider to be reliable sources, and I do follow certain news outlets on Twitter, like Reuters and others, and Al Jazeera, stuff like that.
So what you're explaining is kind of like impressions, right? And we spoke about this on the show many times. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, they all work on impressions the same way YouTube works on views and likes. So if you come out with a tweet and it has 20,000 impressions, you as a user on the platform, you could show it to advertisers, and then you can advertise your products. Mm-hmm. But Twitter's not getting a cut of you advertising on their site.
Right.
Unlike Facebook, where there's a Facebook market and the advertising is so complex, where a YouTube video isn't enough to learn about it. You actually have to practice it on, and the impressions there, like Facebook can make so much money off you just arguing on the timeline, because more ads will show to you, and also they're collecting your data. Then compared to Instagram, where they also have their own marketplace.
Of course. And it's owned by Facebook as well.
And it's owned by Facebook. So they're double getting data, double data. Mm-hmm. What does Twitter have to offer? I would never defend Elon, but in his perspective, I think he's a small coward. I think he just didn't want to buy the company. Like, he woke up and was like, I don't want to buy Twitter. Why would I buy this? But what he said is pretty interesting about how much percentage of the website contains bots. Because I know TikTok has a lot of bots as well in terms of followers. So you could be a famous TikToker, you could have 1 million followers, but like you're not able to hit those numbers that 1 million followers should have. So you're not that famous or as famous as you think you are. You could, still give out ads, but you might not be able to keep it because no one's buying through your link.
Right.
So yeah, it is interesting to see like why Twitter wants to do it. Going back to your original questions, like maybe they understand that it's just difficult to sell, and $44 billion is a really, really good buy. I thought for a long time, I thought Twitter will be worth like maybe 10 or maybe like $8 billion because of how difficult it is to make profit off of it.
Right.
So maybe Snapchat should buy Twitter.
Shoot, I don't know. Maybe Snapchat.
They don't have the money.
Yeah, I just like to. I wanted to be the hopeful one for this conversation, because now I'm just having all these questions of like, did Elon even really intend to buy Twitter, or was this all just like, just for attention.
He can't do the intention route anymore. So everything he says is like heavy-handed by the judicial court. Like the last time he went to court, and it's not the first time, it's like when he was talking about something with the stocks, and they had to kick him out of the room where everybody does all the votes and stuff. I forgot the names. So everything he says has to go through like a PR filter. But of course, what we learned is most PR people, they have a difficult time controlling their staff, controlling the reason they were hired for. So, what could you do?
I don't know. I don't know if there's anything you can do, especially when you're Elon Musk or even a Jeff Bezos. But I think
Jeff Bezos is better at everything.
he's the richest man, compared to Elon Musk. I think Jeff Bezos, he's damn near a trillionaire now, if not a trillionaire.
He's not like Kevin Johnson, the CEO of Starbucks. Like, he's saying crazy things.
Wait, what? Wait. The CEO of Starbucks is saying crazy things?
No.
Oh, he's not like that. Okay, got it. Speaking of Starbucks, I had that new pineapple passion fruit refresher, the lemonade version. So good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know I always talk about the strawberry acai and how elite it is. No other drink to me has matched up to it, but I'm not gonna lie to you, Bastion. I think this one might be it. This one might be the one where I'm like, damn. If it's between the refresher, the passion fruit pineapple, or the strawberry acai, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's really good. And I spiked it with Malibu coconut rum because coconut and pineapple always go well together. Freaking elite. Especially.
I just want to go back real quick. I meant to say Howard Schultz. He came back as CEO.
Howard Schultz.
But yeah, he's a billionaire. But yeah, it sounds like a very tasty drink.
It is, especially for this.
What do you spike it with again?
Malibu rum.
Malibu.
The coconut rum. Because coconut and pineapple go well together. It's basically like, what's that? Pina colada.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I should have some rum here. I know I have some tequila.
Hey, what's your tequila of choice, man?
What's my tea? I don't know. I probably have to think about it.
Okay, fair enough.
Don Julio?
1942.
Good one. Yeah.
Okay, you got money.
Don Julio's pretty good.
It is.
The Patron Silver.
Okay.
That's pretty cheap too. And the Espolon.
Espolon, the one with the skulls.
Espolon. Yeah, that's one I have right now.
Espolon is pretty good. Ooh, have you ever heard of Terramanas?
No.
That is The Rock's tequila. Yes, The Rock has his own tequila. And
yes, I've heard of it.
Hella smooth. It's really good. It's not like Casamigos. No offense to you, George Clooney, but I'm telling you, man, The Rock's tequila is fire. It's really good. You should give that a try. Terramanas, sponsored by Black Seinfeld. It's not, but it should be. Yo, Dwayne, holla at us, man. Support black-owned businesses. I support you. I drink that all the time.
Yeah. Speaking of people that definitely need to drink, Elon Musk. He's just going to go to court, and it's going to be kind of ridiculous to see what happens. And
right.
I think he could be either fined like $1 billion.
Okay.
Or he has to pay.
Oh, so like he has. So wait, you can force someone to buy something?
This is what it is, man. Like I said, this is very complex, complicated. I'm not sure where things could go, but those are the choices that it could go. So he has to state and make his case on why he doesn't do it. So the whole bots thing, I think there's a lot of data to defend him, like not purchasing something because of fake users. Mm-hmm. It could be something.
Yeah, I'm sure he can give proof and evidence to a lot of the volatility that happens on Twitter as well. So that can be a thing too. But I guess my thing is Did he actually sign anything with Twitter while these deals and negotiations were going on? And if
In
so,
America, one thing I learned in international marketing is every country has their own type of deal.
okay,
So, in Japan, like once you say yeah, like once you have the conversation for the deal, you go out for drinking and get really, really drunk. But that's like an official way to saying yes before anything's signed.
so verbal.
Yeah. So it's like for them, it's like participation in this type of like ceremony, or just celebration of having fun, business. Okay. But in America, it's like in some concepts, shaking a hand counts as a yes.
That is true.
So one of the biggest example was when the dude that stole McDonald's from the McDonald brothers.
Yeah, Ray Kroc.
Ray Kroc, right? Ray Kroc gave them a handshake saying, I will give you 1% of the company. Of course, he never did.
Mm-hmm.
But you could go, if they're still alive, they got you soon. It's like, hey, you shook hands on it. And in America, once you shake hands, that's the official yes. But just, I was just saying all this for fluff. Right. Elon Musk didn't do any of that. But I'm pretty sure they had a sort of meeting that sort of said yes. And he sort of started the money process. And he sort of stopped. Mm-hmm. And it's sort of into this situation. So a lot of sort of.
Yeah, verbal agreement is a big thing here in America as well. Because I remember when, people won the lottery, right? And before getting the ticket, they would say to the clerk, like, oh, hey, if I win the lottery, I'll give you this amount of money, right? And ironically enough, they end up winning the lottery, and the clerk would end up suing the lottery winner because of that sort of verbal agreement that they had. And sometimes in those cases, the clerks would actually win that case because apparently this is a verbal agreement. Me, I'm more of a person of I need it in writing. I think that's more important for me personally. And so when I'm dealing with clients and stuff, I always say, hey, don't verbally tell me something. Please email it to me because I want it in black and white, God damn it, to save myself.
I'll do one better. Let's sign the deal right now. We're signing it right now. So remember my last job, you need like approvals up the chain in order to get things to be signed. So you couldn't use that tactic. Sometimes it'd be the next day, and then boom, you already lost the case.
Hey man, that's how some music acts got stuck with their crappy music deal. Like, I already signed it right then and there. Like, oh, what about our lawyers? Hey, if you don't want it, I know a lot of other people that want it. They're like, no, we'll sign it now. And then, they make a song about no scrubs while being broke.
Yikes.
Yikes is right, Passion.
But let's talk about something a little bit more interesting.
Sure.
Still in the concept of space.
Yes.
But just in case if you guys noticed on the news, a lot of people are talking about space. They're talking about the James Webb Space Telescope. I'm pretty sure I spoke about it on the show. I can't find my old notes, so maybe I didn't. But this telescope was being built for like over a decade. What this telescope is designed is to focus on one spot. It's not like it's not can't 360 scope, right? It's focused on one spot, one tiny piece, and it takes in all the light. It's almost like a camera. When you're doing exposures with a camera, it's all about how much light comes in. That's why taking pictures is night. Take a picture at night, you need to put it on a stand, put it on a timer for like 2 minutes, and it's absorbing all the light, and it takes a long time to do that. So that's what this telescope is designed to do. It's supposed to focus on one small part.
One of the most expensive telescopes ever made, by the way, because of the sheer accuracy of what you're getting in space. And so recently we saw one of the first shots with the James Webb Telescope, and within that shot we saw basically many galaxies, many different planets of the universe, which is pretty cool to see. I'm not gonna lie, I saw it on the NASA website, nasa.gov, which, sidebar, NASA, you have to change up your website, please. Like, it's totally embarrassing for NASA to have the same website still. It's garbage. It's like the Space Jam website. It's that bad. But seeing it, it still gives me hope, okay, of maybe interaction of different life forms. You know, that's all I ever want. You know, with these new discoveries, with help from the Europe and with Canada and with Australia, I want this collaboration to get us one step closer to, you know, to foreign species and to seeing these foreign species. So, hey, I'm happy it worked. I just want some aliens, damn it, because aliens is going to be the one thing that brings us together. Like in the movies.
You know, I'm just going to be the nihilist in this part and say it's not going to happen. It's never going to happen, and not in your lifetime. Because all of these footages are things that are like 130 billion light years away from us, okay?
I know, Bastion.
So unless you're flying in the speed of light, it took you 130 billion years to get to that light source, all right? And by then, it's not it's not what we see as what we perceive it. You know, right now we're looking at the past.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's kind of scary.
Yes.
The picture we're seeing right now is the past.
It's interstellar.
It's interstellar. Like, we're looking at a picture that was taken 130 billion years ago. Everything we see is no longer there the way we see it now, because that's how light travels.
Wait, what the what?
Oh, you didn't know that?
Oh,
that's
hell no.
What we're seeing right now is an old picture. We're taking the picture of the past. That's how light travels. That's how it works.
Okay, that's mind-boggling. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Nigga, are we in the past?
We're the past to somebody right now.
Yeah.
Because our light, not Earth, but maybe our sun, maybe our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, is being perceived. Maybe if they had their telescope and they look at us, our system probably hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah. Do people have their own James Webb Telescope looking at us right now?
That's the thing. We aren't invented yet. Like we're
not known yet.
All the space dust hasn't formed itself by the time they're getting their footage. Because that's how light works. Light takes a very long time to get from point A to point B.
Whoa.
That's why our eyes are so weird. Like, you know, close your eyes and listen to everything. That's what's happening right now. But you're opening your eyes, you know, you're going to see things like 26 frames per second. So
let me ask you this question, because we're getting really philosophical here at this point, and I love it. So from our perspective, aliens aren't really real because we haven't seen it yet. You know what I'm saying? We always have fantasies and ideas of what aliens are, what they look like. We always have unidentified aircrafts, which, you know, we want it to be flying saucers and stuff, but it's not. You know, unidentified aircrafts or unidentified objects are basically like, you know, just things that we just don't know which spacecraft, which craft this came from. We don't know if this is American, it could be Russian, it could be from wherever, right? So the idea of aliens is like, we don't know if it's real or not because we haven't seen it. So I wonder, from that perspective, are we even real to the outside galaxy? Am I real? Are you real? Nigga, what is this? What are we in right now? This is all a simulation.
So the best way to understand, like, without being... No, well, I guess I'm going to overwhelm you.
Yes, please.
So in one of the footage, it shows you like a bunch of small dots, look like different galaxies and very bright stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
That small block of image is pretty much like 1% of what is around it. Like I said, this James Webb Telescope is focused on only one area and one area only.
Right.
But that area is like, you know, let's say you bought a 1,000 piece puzzle, right? No, I'll do you one better. Let's say you bought a 1 billion piece puzzle.
Yikes.
The piece we're looking at is maybe 1/4 of one of the puzzle pieces.
Wow. So it's just focusing on, just like you said, that one part. But we don't even know how, well, we already know how big space is. It's infinite.
Oh no, it's not infinite. No, that's foolish.
It's
That's
not
foolish talk.
infinite? I
There's no
thought it
such
was
thing as
infinite.
No. The way the space works is there is at one point there probably was a center point, but right now space is expanding and it's constantly expanding.
Right. So there is no end to space. Like there's
No,
like
space. There's a beginning and an end, but it's expanding. You understand? Like it's not infinite. It's expanding.
I don't get it. So like, there's no ending. It's a balloon. It just expands.
There you go. You have a tiny balloon and you keep blowing air into it and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It just keeps expanding.
So
and that's what.
So eventually, is it gonna pop?
No one knows about pop, but everybody thinks it'll cool down even more. It's a lot of theories. Like one of my favorite theories, and there's a movie called Nemo.
It's about a fish who disobeys its father, and the father has to go and find Nemo.
What's the actor that played Morbius?
Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne. Sorry.
No, it's not Morpheus. I said Morbius.
Jared Leto.
Okay,
sorry.
Jared Leto.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's called Mr. Nobody. The movie.
Okay.
It's a space sci-fi drama called Mr. Nobody, and it just takes place of like this character named Nemo. He has multiple lives or multiple perspectives, and no one really knows like what's going on. Anyways, one of the theories, like as space keeps expanding, once it gets to like its stopping point, it will just all come back colliding into the center. So that was kind of one of the theories. Like it would just keep like going more and more, keep absorbing. Keep spreading, and then it will stop, and everything just come back and reverse itself.
Huh. Okay, that's an interesting theory. But just remember, people, theory doesn't mean that it's actually fact. So there you go.
no one really
on
knows.
that. Of course we don't know, but we're just making estimated guesses here.
Yeah. So that's kind of like one of the theories.
Yeah. That just blew my mind a bit. I enjoyed that existential crisis that I just had in the middle of the programming. So that was great.
Yeah. So that's like a concept of time. So when you're looking at these images, just understand
you're looking into the past.
We're looking into the past, one thing. Another thing is we know nothing still.
That's fair.
But we know a lot, but we know nothing.
We only know a fraction of what we know.
Yeah. And in order to get to a planet, it's not light speed like spaceships, it's like warp speed. Literal warp.
Like in Star Trek?
No, because you're still moving from point A to point B. You have to if there's a circle, it's like, what's that movie with Matthew McConaughey?
Interstellar.
It has to be Interstellar. Only way. Interstellar explained it so well.
But see, with Interstellar, he went through some freaking wormhole.
Yeah, it has to be a wormhole. Because as the example they use, it's like taking a piece of paper and making a mark and then folding it.
Yes.
And then you put a hole into it.
Yes.
That's the best way to do it.
And then he went into a next freaking dimension.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, there's no dimension thing. That was the future.
Right. It was the future. Yeah, that movie was wild. I still have to rewatch it because I didn't know if I liked it the first viewing. I have to rewatch it again.
Yeah, let's get into the second song.
Yes, please, because you just me up, dog. Seriously, God, my head hurts.
Shout out to my little brother who definitely knows a lot more about this, but we tend to have conversations dealing with this for years. So, wow. Yeah.
Shout out to your brother, man. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for doing that to me. All right. What's the next song of the week, bud?
It's your song.
Oh, my song.
Oh no, actually, we can still end it with your song.
Okay.
We can end the show with your song. All right, so I'll play. So this song is going to be by Samuel T. Herring and Bad Bad Not Good, called "I Don't Know."
And welcome back to Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing. That was Bad Bad Not Good, right, Bastion?
Yep. And Samuel T. Herring.
And Samuel T. Herring with I don't know. That was that whole conversation we just had. I don't know. That's what space is, honestly. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like you could enjoy the babbles of Neil deGrasse Tyson, or you could be like, me and my little brother just having conversations about it,
That is true.
It gets worse.
It does get worse, but it's also fascinating, and it's one of my favorite conversations to have here at Black Seinfeld. Although
And
I do.
And that's the difference between like Star Trek and Star Wars.
Yes.
Star Wars, you shouldn't care about the space science part of it. It's all nonsense.
Right.
Who's writing it anyway? But Star Trek is like, yeah, let's think some concepts.
It's more about the exploration in Star Trek. And a lot of the things and a lot of the technology that was in Star Trek is something that we kind of have now.
Yeah, I could think more of a true sci-fi where we eventually have ideas, and it takes a while for us to invent it. Just like the telephone versus having a video conversation. So everybody using FaceTime has really became a thing compared to what it was back then. What was it? Voodoo?
Uvu, not voodoo.
Uvu. So Uvu was like
right. Yes.
A good test pilot.
And when Captain Kirk was talking into his watch, we can now do that with the Apple Watch.
Yeah, but too bad it's not like cool though, because
Yeah.
the Apple Watch aesthetic it can't be changed because it's the touchscreen.
Right. The only thing you can change is the damn bands. That's about it. And they're getting ridiculous in pricing with the bands, by the way. It's actually sick.
I'm okay with that.
You are?
Yeah.
I'm not.
I think I'm okay with it because it kind of works the same way as like microtransactions in video games. So if you're playing like Fortnite,
yeah,
and you're buying a part or a fit, like you don't have to. You can still play the game at the highest level without spending a single dime.
My issues always with microtransaction is sometimes people will purchase microtransactions for certain video games to give them an unfair advantage against other players, because I like it when things are at equal playing fields. I don't like it when it's a day one release game and you have like the most powerful gun because you decide to buy it for $50. It's disgusting.
You don't have to worry about it. It's completely not a thing anymore. I think they kind of removed that part of video games now. So right now, everything can only be cosmetics.
Which it's fine. I still think it's a ripoff because I hate to be that guy, but back in my day, if you wanted to get different cosmetics and different upgrades, you would have to work for it, okay? You would have to unlock the blue. You would have to unlock the green, unlock the camo army design, okay? If you wanted to trick out your damn characters, okay? Not all this coins and VC and all that.
The biggest difference now is video game companies could actually update their game compared to building a new game in like 5 years from now.
And that's my problem today with a lot of gamings, because sometimes what will happen is, or a lot of the time that's been happening recently, is AAA titles would release a day one version of the game, and sometimes, or a lot of the times, a lot of instances where the game isn't even finished, but they'll just they'll release it in a horrible ass state and continuously work on the game to update it and patch it and all that. I find that unacceptable. But also, I hate it when, people will put in a paywall for certain things in that game where it's already coded into the game. So rather than, just having someone work their way up to get it and to unlock it, no, you have to pay for it. I hate that.
That's very interesting, because imagine buying a car and it already had the heated seats installed, but you would have to pay for it in order to use it.
That very idea, I'm not gonna lie, it pisses me off.
So, circulating around the news the other day was BMW is selling, especially their high-end cars, are going to have a monthly service fee for certain parts of it. And just to specify, it's not in the United States. It's pretty much in other countries like the UK, Germany, New Zealand, South Africa. And one of the examples I just used is like the heated seats will be available in like the BMW digital store. And if you wanted to use it, you will have to pay something like $18 a month.
That is disgusting. That is god awful.
Now, I do think there is a conversation for both ends.
Oh, please. I would love to hear this.
And, all right. So let me defend it, right? Let me say in some features that when you're buying a car, right? So,
Yes.
The heated steering wheels, the heated seats, all the fun sound systems.
It's a luxury to have.
It's a luxury, right? And you're paying for that. Sometimes you don't want it, right? I've driven my whole life without heated seats, so I don't necessarily need heated seats.
Mm-hmm.
But I would definitely prefer to have heating steering wheel because I love that. Because in New York it gets mighty cold, and I have a BMW, so my hands like frozen to
that's
to
fair.
the steering
Yes,
wheel.
you had a BMW. Yes, that's fair.
That's fair, right?
That is fair.
So let's say I have to pay $12 a month for the heated steering wheel.
Okay.
Right? Let's say if I needed to keep it, if I need to upgrade it forever, right? I have to pay $400. But if I only need it for a winter, I'm only paying $36 a year. Because there's only 3 months when it's really, really cold anyways, right?
Okay. I'm with you so far.
Instead of spending the $400 for the whole thing, the whole package, but I'm only going to need it for 3 months, I'll just pay the $36, $12 a month. And that's it. Once I'm done, unsubscribe. Same thing for the heated seats. I'm only going to need it in the winter. I only pay for those 3 months. By the time it hits March, unsubscribe. Like the end of March.
Huh. Okay. I'm seeing where you're going with this.
Now, I've seen it happen before. In real life.
What do you mean?
While working at Tesla, I remember when the Model 3 was there in the store, and there's only heated seats in the front 2 seats. Then one day, it just got a software update, and now you can control the heated seats in the back. We didn't know that there was heated seats in the back seat. We thought that maybe the next rendition of the car, or the more expensive version of the car, will have the heated seats in the back. All those cars had heated seats in every seat.
For
Later
free.
on, what they did is if you wanted to buy the lower model, the heated seats, you could pay for that extra if you wanted it. But if you didn't want it, then it wasn't going to activate.
Huh.
You see what they kind of did there? It's kind of messed up, but
right.
at the same
so
time,
basically, they updated it for free, so y'all just have it.
Just the first batch. This is the first batch. It's
Right.
like later on, that's when they started market different ways to make money off of it.
Yes, and that's my issue there. Okay, because you could just, if you wanted to, out of the goodness of your heart, you could just update the damn thing. That way, you can pick. All right, cool. Let me just
profitability, bro. We literally spoke about making money 40 minutes ago,
and that's why microtransactions is fucking gross in gaming and now in cars. It's disgusting.
It's a little bit different because you're not paying for the full usage because you don't need the full usage, or you just don't have the 400
in
right now.
In theory, what if you live in a cold area where you're gonna need it all the time?
Then you should buy the whole thing. You should understand what you're doing, and you're gonna use that extra money to buy the whole thing. I'm going to pay $400 to pay for the whole package.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't.
Well, for some people, it does, because we don't. The difficult reason why I haven't bought a car is because I like to change careers every now and then, right? So it's kind of difficult to know, will I have the money for it in like 8 months or 18 months? Month 18, will I have the money for this car note, right? But it's a little bit easier when you can lower the car note if you're only paying for stuff on a monthly basis. So it's like, all right, I'm going to take this out, I'm going to take this out, I'm going to take this out, and then boom, I'm good.
So if you want to ball on a budget, don't get the latest luxury.
Hey, that's the proper answer.
Right. That's the logical answer here.
But no. Well, okay, yes, that's logical.
Yes, it is
But
logical.
people are not logical. They buy things with their feelings. We literally spoke about Amazon Prime Day. When you're on that site, are you buying the thing that was already on your your wish list or or like add to cart later? No, you're buying what was pretty cool. It's like, I didn't know I needed this, and it's pretty cheap right now. I'm gonna buy this Ninja blender. I like to make some smoothies. You were never gonna buy it before, but because you saw the price of 60% off, you bought it because you bought it with your feeling. Now you're never gonna use this blender. It's gonna collect dust.
So are you essentially saying that for these new parts or these new? They're not even parts.
Cars.
They're
Yeah.
no. I'm saying parts.
Oh, parts of the car.
Yes.
Okay. So here's another option. There's an option to record footage from your car's camera that's priced at $250 for unlimited, or you could pay a monthly fee for it. And here's another feature, and we're still talking about the same BMW. I'm not sure which BMW they're talking about.
Yeah, they just said BMW, guys.
But there's another one. There's an iconic sound sports package, which makes makes it sound of the engine, because engines aren't loud anymore, and they haven't been loud for years. But yeah,
yeah, that one was some BS. That was BS. Like, all right, you pay this fee to hear the fucking engine. Seriously, dog.
So here's a question for you.
No.
All right.
That's my answer. No.
Let's say. So I'll give you the Tesla example.
Good, go for it.
I know.
Because it's an electric car.
Yeah, because it's electric car. So the basic autopilot, what it comes with, it keeps you in lane and does the bumper traffic for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also park, right?
Yes.
But there's also enhanced autopilot, which allows you to do pretty much like it'll parallel park for you. You could call it around, it'll drive around the parking lot for you as well. And these features do work pretty interestingly.
Ultimate flex,
right?
Yes.
So the whole package costs like $10,000. Right?
Yes, I'm listening.
You don't have the bread for $10,000. No, my fault. Enhanced autopilot is $6,000, but if you do the whole full self-driving service, it's like $12,000.
Holy crap.
You're not going to buy the $12,000 one, but you'd still want some of the features for the full self-driving. So what you're going to do is you're going to pay $200 a month for it instead of spending this $6,000 immediately. So
along with paying off the car too. It's an additional.
With paying off the car.
Yeah, exactly. See, exactly. That's what y'all failing to realize too. Along with that damn car note that you're paying off, it's the additional features that you want to add that's going to make it a bit more expensive.
So that's the thing, is you don't even have to add this feature now, because you can always upgrade it later. You could always get it later, per se. You don't even have to get it right now. So you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
it's like,
I hear you.
Options.
I hear you.
These companies are now giving you options in order to choose if you want to pay for it now, or you could buy it later.
I hate that. It's
so
brilliant.
Even though it's installed with it, you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, it should just come with it. Like, with games. Hey, this is already installed on the damn disc. I should be able to play it. You installed it. I want to play it.
I'm definitely mentally tricked with the idea that companies no longer care about that.
Of course they don't.
These things comes pre-installed. Every phone has a calculator. You're going to use it.
That's
right?
Basically saying, oh, hey, we have this calculator app, right? If your ass wants to use that calculator app that's already installed in it, hey, because hey, you need to do some math, right? $3 a month, it unlocks, what I'm saying? You get to use the calculator app as much as you want. And when you're done, you can disable it. But it's already on the phone. I should be able to use my calculator. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, if this feature is already in the car, right? I shouldn't have to pay to use it. I should be able to use it.
Hey, man.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm not making the game, but right now we are in the microtransaction, software as a service. Everything we're looking at long-term profits.
I know,
right?
Bastion, but I just feel
And
like
I
I'm
gave you the
crazy
TV
for.
example a couple of months ago. Samsung TVs, Amazon fires TVs, right? How do they make money? They sell you a TV for $329,
Yeah.
but they throw advertisements all over it, so they're making money on you even after even after you purchased the TV.
Yeah.
Now they can make $200 off of you because you're viewing. It's like, oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you see the link. You're like, all right, I might as well watch it. That's the advertisements working on you.
Right.
Easy. So,
Yeah, I know.
the World Cup is gonna be all up on your screen later this year.
It is
They're
disgusting.
advertising like crazy.
That's disgusting. It's in November, but that's a discussion for a later day. My whole thing is, guess what? It's not in America, right? It's over in the UK. It's over in New Zealand. It's over in South Africa. The big discussion here is, no offense to all of our, our global listeners, but the real discussion we should have here about this is, do you think these features are going to make its way to America? And if so, when?
It could be by the end of. Actually, it still has to do with how we produce vehicles.
Because it's on the left side.
Yeah, it's still no.
The steering wheel.
No, it has nothing to do with steering wheel. What are you talking about? You're talking about the lack of chips shortage. It's still an issue. And the reason that used car prices are as high as they are right now is because there's not a lot of new cars going around. So people are buying used cars to flip them. So that's kind of like what they're eyeing on right now, for them to open the store in the United States now or later.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it. That's the way I would have perceived it as well. Because giving people an option, yes to no, like, it does suck, especially if you're doing it through a dealership. But if you could buy these vehicles through like the website, it will work perfect. But if you have to do it through a dealership, it's gonna be really weird. It's gonna be really weird.
How
the
so?
incentive to like force you to like,
Oh,
they're gonna
commission.
be weird incentives. It's like, hey, we'll give it to you for free for 6 months type of deals. So,
and if they make commission off of those too, off of those incentives, yeah, man,
it's a shaky game. So that's the only thing I really worry about, is how the system that's already terrible will abuse it. It's harder buying a car than it is to buy a house. Crazy, right? So
that's wild.
That's the only thing. And right now, inflation is up. Well, not inflation. The interest is up too, so it's not even a good time to buy a car or a house. So,
man,
yeah.
Well, that's a real bummer.
Yeah. So, BMW is it's crazy. I know, like I said, other cars do this too. I just gave you an example with how Tesla's doing it. I don't know how other cars are doing it, but it's going to be
a lot of the luxury
10 years
brands
from now.
are going to be.
You're buying your first real car. Of course, you're gonna buy a used car first.
You're
gonna have a hard time.
You have to buy used cars first, so you can beat it up. You don't go out the gate of getting like a really nice first car. No. I
would love to get a BMW, but the gas price.
Yeah, wasn't yours a gas guzzler?
Yeah, definitely gas guzzler, and also
like
a difficult
01.
car to drive too.
Was it?
It's a very difficult drive. That's why I refuse to go out to Brooklyn around like this time in 12 to 2 a.m. It's not an easy car to drive in the highway.
You made it look easy.
Yeah, because it's a cool car still. Like, it's still fun to drive.
Chilling in my Beamer, listening to ether.
I always feel exhausted driving that car versus driving like my mom's Honda Accord, and that's like it's
a safe car.
It's not only safe, it's a fun car. It's a decent car to drive. It has some push to it, and the gas, it's pretty affordable compared to the BMW from 2001, which is a gas guzzler, and it drives with speed too.
Yeah.
So, it's cars are very interesting. Like, I need a car that gives me the same energy and feel as like, ironically, a Tesla, in terms of like,
get you a hybrid.
The hybrids don't feel the same way. People think not all hybrids are built the same.
Oh, I know.
Some hybrids you could control the battery to flow with the gas, and that could be pretty fun.
Yeah.
But some cars it's just straight up battery, and it's not a fun car to drive. It's just like I drove a Kia Sportage, and I thought this was the worst car ever.
Yeah, Kias aren't really the best when it comes to that. But you know, the bigger companies like Honda and Toyota, they're coming out with their own hybrid cars, and I think you would enjoy those.
Like I said, I will have to test drive them in order to really get it. Like my boy, he drove an Audi Q7, and the first question I asked him
Audi's
was
a
like,
great car.
driving that car, how did it feel driving the car like 150 miles an hour? I said, yo, it felt like you're driving at 60 miles. That car does not shake, it does not move, and it's very easy to handle.
Well, Audi's a good car.
No, that's the thing. Like, you still want the feel of that drive. I would like to drive 100 miles an hour and make the car feel like it's driving 40 miles an hour.
No, here's the thing. Y'all, it's like Beyond Meat, okay? Y'all want the impression of the real thing, okay? But guess what? This is what I say to y'all all the time. It's not the real thing. If you want the real thing, get the real thing. Because you're trying to find the substitute for the real thing, but it's
I'm not trying to find
not
any substitute. I should have said this is what I want. It's either that or nothing. I'm not trying to get a hybrid so I could complain, wow, this car is like not even good. You know what I mean?
You can say ass on the radio. It's fine.
I know, but still. It's like his car is ass. Like, he can't get me. Like, it kept me everywhere, especially for cheap, but it's just not a fun car to drive.
Hey, no worries, Bastion. You know, in a couple years, you can always pay $200 a year for that engine sound. So, you know, no worries, man. You're good.
Yo, I do not care for the engine sound. That is the most asinine sound ever.
That is disgusting.
But let's get into some music.
Yeah, let's get into some music, man, because there's a lot of music that you dropped lately. And honestly, Bastion, I came here to brag a little bit because I've honestly felt like I've been spoiled this year. I've gotten everything that I've ever wanted, and I've been complaining since 2020. I remember saying, hey, I need a new Brent Faiyaz project. Hey, I need Kendrick Lamar to come back. Hey, I need Joey Badass to drop something new. Give us a new project. It's been so long. I've gotten damn near everything I've wanted, Bastion. Kendrick Lamar dropped. Who can forget that? Joey Badass, he's going to be dropping next week, I believe. And finally,
I think. Or it's a single. I don't know. Double check.
He's probably going to drop another damn single. I know he dropped another single last week. But Brent Faiyaz is a person who I've been championing for a long time, and I've deemed him the Prince of Toxicity. I loved his sound. I thought he brought back that old school 90s R&B vibe. You know, his voice is angelic, very moody at times. That's his sound. And of course, Brent Faiyaz is known for his toxic lyrics. And so I was very excited when he was going to drop Wasteland. And normally he was supposed to drop Wasteland back in 2021, the end of 2021. Then it changed to like June 5th. June 5th came around. He didn't drop it. And then we had to wait a while for it to drop. And it finally dropped last week. And I have to say, Bastion, honestly, I didn't love it the way I thought I was going to, you know, come on here and just be like, oh, this is one of the albums of the year. Da 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 da. And I will tell you why. I've already listened to half of the records on this album. We've listened to Gravity already. We played that last year, 2021. I played the hell out of Wasting Times featuring Drake and the Neptunes last year, 2021. I've heard Dead Man Walking as far back as 2020. I've heard Price of Fame and Loose Change from his little mixtape that he dropped not too long ago as well. So I damn near heard half of the records, right? And so I felt like if I didn't hear any of those records, I would have enjoyed the project a lot more. But also, I felt like it's still a good record. It's still a good album. He still has great songs on it. He addresses his toxicity on the first track called Toxic, where he says, you know, toxic is just it's an internet word. Okay, it doesn't really mean anything, which goes to show,
He's not being toxic. He's just honest, man.
Yeah, he's just honest. But, you know, listening to his records on that album, yeah, then they kind of toxic, dog. Especially,
it's pretty toxic.
Especially with the skits that he had regarding the pregnancy of his girlfriend, or I don't know, his partner, I don't know, the lady, concubine. I don't know what that person is to him. I don't know what kind of relationship it is to him, but we got to see that unfold in certain skits, which I would love to see the visuals for. I think the album would be, for me, I think I would enjoy it a lot more if we got like visuals of a lot of these songs, sort of like a Beyonce Lemonade or a Solange When I Go Home, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Where we have visual representation of these tracks. We have collabs from Tyler the Creator, Drake, the Neptunes, more recently Alicia Keys as well. I didn't really care for the Alicia Keys record. I thought
she was too monotone.
Yeah, she was too monotone for me, and I didn't really want rappy Alicia Keys. I kind of wanted like a duet ballad from them, but I didn't get that. I feel like Brent is being a bit lazy on this record, honestly. I felt like he's just coasting on this album. I feel like he's playing it a bit too safe with the sound, with the pitches. You know, and he has a good voice. You know, the sound isn't bad or anything, but I just feel like he can put in a lot more effort to his music. And I feel like he did that with one of my favorite tracks, which happens to be the last track, Angels. Like, he changed pitches. It felt more epic. It felt more grand. You know what I mean? It felt like it felt like he cared a lot more on that one. I just felt like the full album itself was just a lot of like leaks or singles that he just drops, and I felt like, you know, it does work well within the album, but I don't know, I felt cheated and slided on this, to be honest.
Interesting. I do have a different perspective, but
Okay.
I'd like to hear yours.
Sure.
Because you are a fan and you've been a big fan. Always told me about his EPs that he's dropped. Compared to me, where I'm not too much of a fan.
And you haven't listened to a lot of his songs.
I haven't truly
exactly
sat down and listened to his music. But this album I did. You know, when it came out, as you said, I only know the songs that you played for me. The Drake one, which I completely forgot about. And it's a great song. I forgot it was produced by the Neptunes.
Yes.
And I only heard it like twice in the past. So hearing it
played
within the context
for you
of
twice.
the album, you know what? I think the only time I heard it is when you played for me.
Twice.
That's funny. And the Tyler the Creator one, which I did play on my own.
Yes.
I didn't put it in any playlist, but it is a very good song. Just love the way it drops into the first verse and stuff. Great beat.
Featuring Steve Lacy too on the guitar. We have to give him his credit.
Just a great track, especially to Steve Lacy. And just listening to the context of the album, and I told you that I like the way it sounds.
Yes.
Like, it gives me a very old 2011 vibe, which I didn't know from the way you're talking about it right now, that he played it safe. Like, he played the sounds that you're used to him having. Am I correct?
Yes.
Interesting. Because I don't know who he is.
That's
so
fair.
I like the sounds that he's using right now.
It's very Weeknd.
But I definitely understand what you mean, where you've hoped for more growth, because that's how I feel about certain artists. Like Flamogramma, which is Flying Lotus's, like, one of his albums. A lot of people would say the same thing, that this album was weird because he used his already known songs, sounds, and most of these songs were created like 4 years ago. That's what he put on the album. So it didn't blend well for a lot of people compared to, you know, when he did I forgot the name. I was gonna say the Japanese spot.
Oh, Yasuke?
Yasuke.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that one's really good because it's more experimental. It sounds like a different sound. Like, he wasn't trying to sound like Flying Lotus, trying to sound like someone else. So no, just talking about sounds, and I definitely understand what you mean. But for me, I enjoyed it. I liked the sounds. I liked the 2011 vibe that he was giving off. especially with the pitch tones and stuff. I could remove the skits. The skits did add
You didn't
a
like the
layer.
skits?
They're okay. They're
Okay.
good. You know, they fit for what they need to do. But I'm grown up, man. You know,
Fair.
I'm 28. I don't need skits like that unless it's like
He's like
Kanye
our
West skits.
age.
No, but I don't care for skits anymore. Like
Really?
skits are really good in like De La Soul, right?
Mhm.
Because it's one with the project. Nowadays, if you're not super obsessed with it, you don't need it. And I know I won't be super obsessed with this album, so I could just push it off and go on
Fair.
to the next thing. You know, like you listen to Kendrick Lamar's album. There are tracks I do not listen to. And it sucks.
I know those
It's like
records.
4 songs I don't listen to.
Fair, I know.
And I made my own version of it too. That's why I could say I enjoyed Kendrick Lamar album, because I can change the entire narrative of it. That's messed up to do, but who cares? So yeah, I enjoy this album a lot. Like the sound, the ambience he's doing, and I do see myself continuously listening to this album too. So I will give it like a good 7, 8 because I like it. Like there's no song I would like to skip. But for you, the pain of listening to an album that's already half out.
Right.
I've been there before, especially during the leak era where, we always listen to leaks and there's websites designed around that. My biggest leak, and I told you this, was listening to Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. It was a pain of an album to listen to because I already overplayed every other song on it.
Right.
Because of Kanye's Fridays joints.
Yeah. Good times.
Good times.
So for me, I'm like a 7 for it. Like it's good. I just heard it already, and I was expecting new material. That's all. And I did get some new material on the record, but for the most part, half of the stuff I've already heard before. Yes, it was placed correctly. Yes, it flowed well with the overall narrative and the story. But to me, I felt like Brent can do a lot more with these records. That's just me. He could do a lot more, and he has to push himself more. That's it. That's all.
Okay. Lupe Fiasco came out with a new album.
Yes, I was waiting for you to talk about this because I know you're a huge Lupe fan.
Huge fan. Definitely one of these albums that I need to sit down and dissect more.
That's why I gave you that time to do that. Gave you like 2 good weeks.
It's really good. Just to quickly jump on it and explain, like it's called Drill Music in Zion. The concept of it is Lupe talking about like the artist and the pain it is going through as artists.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very interesting how he goes at it. I forgot which song it was, but one of the songs was pretty much talking in perspective of a hand, right?
Wait,
and like
what?
how it's done, like a hand, your hand.
Huh.
And like the way he ends is like, you don't even use me to write the songs anymore, the raps of your song anymore. It's like, yeah, because we're texting put everything in the notes. So it is one of those albums.
This, Smash Brothers? What?
Yeah, almost like that. Because back in then we got the pens and the paper, but we don't do that anymore. But now just listening to this album and seeing his perspective on why he dislikes drill music, right? He doesn't like it. We had an episode about this many months ago.
Yeah.
Talking about the violence nature and how it's no longer about music. It's pretty much about like a gang. This person can have 2 or 3 songs, and of course, this person gets killed. Right. So that's kind of what this album sprinkles on it. He's not trying to be preachy because he knows being preachy is lame as hell. And he was never that type of rapper too. And he does talk about like different things.
What does he talk about on the records? If
no, like just like how it is being in the game. It's like what's your purpose and stuff.
Mm.
So I do recommend people to listen to it. Like I said, like it's really good. It's really good. Most of the beats were created by Soundtrack, and I think the only thing that I wish he did was make it a little bit more experimental. But I understood the purpose because he wrote it, I think, within like a week or 2, and then just recorded everything, and that's it.
I heard about that.
So it was just weighing on his mind for a minute, and then he just went at it and dipped, and that's it. So he doesn't even want to make music like that anymore. He does own his own. He does own his masters. He's not no longer part of like a super record label, so he can make music whenever he wants now. So I'm hoping that he still come up with more music, but I'm not gonna front. I'm still trying to understand his last album, Waves, on Drago's Waves, and how complicated that album is. Whew. This is very powerful stuff. So yeah, Lupe Fiasco. It takes years to really understand what he's talking about. Even Tetsuo and Youth took me a minute to understand it. But yeah, definitely check out the new Lupe Fiasco album.
That's the beauty of good music, though, Bastion. It allows replayability so you can understand these tracks and understand the music, understand what the artist is trying to say.
Word.
I understand what Giveon was trying to say in Give or Take. I understood that. And honestly, I'll keep it real with you. I felt like this album is better than Brent Faiyaz's record. Yep, I said it. Giveon's record is better than Brent Faiyaz's record. You know why? Because there was growth with Giveon, okay? He didn't give me the same thing over and over again. And also, Giveon is toxic too, Bastion. He is toxic. He's just more of a refined toxic, if that makes sense. I think that's sort of oxymoronic in a way, but he's a self-aware toxic. Brent Faiyaz is a self-aware toxic too, right? But Brent Faiyaz is the type of dude where he's like, if you get close to me, I'm going to disappoint you. So it's best for you to either know what you're getting yourself into and not do it, or if you want to come along for the ride, just know that this is going to end really quickly and we're just going to go about our separate ways. That's Brent Faiyaz, right? Giveon, this man is the more like sophisticated. We could crack open a bottle of Chardonnay. You could get to know me. I could get to know you. But just know that, while we're kicking it, I'm in no room right now for a relationship. He's that type, he's like an F-boy. He is. That's F-boy material. And that's what Giveon is in Give or Take. But now he's more aware of the F-boyness. And I like this album. I like the opening track where he was talking to his mom in the Let Me Go, where basically, he's saying that, hey, I'm on to bigger and better things in my life and I'm growing and, this isn't working anymore. So I think it's best if you let me go and see the different ventures of the world, see the new lights of the world. You know what I'm saying? With my newfound fame, you should let me go and spread my wings and fly away and soar and see me running through. I'm gonna stop. Okay. Okay. And I think that's basically what the whole album is. Another heartbreak. At least we tried. Remind me. Unholy matrimony. Like, it's lost me. For tonight. I mean, do I even have to go further than that? Those are just the titles. Good. Sounds good to me, right? So definitely listen to Giveon, Give or Take. Listen to it. Summertime is a great summer album. Great summer R&B album. Great summer R&B nighttime album. I was listening to this album on the rooftop with the lights on. Great album to listen to. Great album to vibe to. Great album to smoke a spliff to. Or great album to just, sip some wine or something. I don't know, Bastion. Are you a Pinot Grigio type of guy?
No, I'm not. So acidic.
Fair.
But
I prefer red wine.
But yeah.
So that's Giveon, Give or Take. Listen to it now on all DSPs. Bastion, you have any other albums you want to talk about?
I know the Kid Cudi, he came out with a what do you call those, like, rock art albums, like the best of Kid
Cudi?
Yeah, he came out with like a best of album.
Really? That's dope.
Yeah. And no, because like we don't need those type of things anymore.
That's true.
Because of how, like, I'm scrolling down and I'm on Tidal, I'm looking at Kid Cudi Essentials, and then I can look at the same thing as like Kid Cudi, The Boy Who Flew the Moon, Volume 1. And I look at the songs on here. It's like, yeah, these are great songs, but I could make a better playlist.
That is true. Yes. You know what? That reminded me of Michael Jackson's Scream album. If you remember that album, which turned out to just be nothing but hits. It was just a playlist of hits. So Thriller was on it. Another Day, Another Heartbreak in Heartbreak Hotel was in it. Scream with him and Janet was in it.
Oh yeah, this was a
Yes.
I was so upset when this album came out.
Same, because it was just nothing but hits, and it tried to fit into this Halloween sort of theme, but it really didn't, except for like Thriller and Heartbreak Hotel.
No, I was mad they even advertised it.
Yeah, I know. I was upset too. I legit thought it was a new album after that last one, Escape. Yeah.
I always any time someone brings it up, I always tell people, yo, just listen to the original version. It's not perfect, but it is damn well better.
Yeah. But is that how you feel with the Cudi album? Is it just like Michael Jackson's Scream?
No, yeah, it is. No. Because like I understand what Scream's trying to do. This one is just like what rock stars usually do. So it was like Hall & Oates. You haven't heard them in a while, so you just listen to their like the best of Hall & Oates, and buy that on vinyl, and you have a good old time. So this is pretty much what it is. But it's like
definitely a relic of the past.
Relic of the past, because I'm looking at it. I'm just quickly before the show ends. Is he starts with Day and Night, Pursuit of Happiness. Then he ends with September 16 and Love. You cannot end your album, this particular one, with the newest album,
especially like those September 16th.
Yeah, Tequila Shots, Sad People, September 16, Love. I don't know, man. It's kind of messed up that I'm talking about Lupe Fiasco first and talk about Kid Cudi because they beef each other.
They do?
But, yeah. They never cleared it up either. But like, come on, even Speeding Bullet to Heaven's on this.
Yes, it is.
And I'm like, even Too Bad I Have to Destroy You's on this. I'm like, dude, maybe Kid Cudi doesn't have a lot of good music. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm in a dilemma.
I feel like he could have put on Kanye. He and Kanye aren't doing so well, but I feel like he could have put stuff on Kids See Ghost. He could have done that.
No, he couldn't. It had to be solo music. It wouldn't be collab music.
Oh, well, okay, I guess.
I don't know. It's really hard being a Kid Cudi fan, where sometimes like he has a lot of mid. He has as much great songs as he does mid songs. This is probably how Nas fans feel like.
Yes, but hey, Nas has a resurgence. I will admit it. Okay, I still love Magic. I still play it every day.
Great album.
It's a great album. You know, he has had the resurgence of a lifetime with help with Hit Boy. So
yeah.
It could be the same with Kid Cudi. We don't know. And hell, I still remain fact that I like Man on the Moon 3, Bash, and I don't care. It's still good. I love it.
Like I said, Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying is just a way better album.
I love Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying.
I can't even listen to this album. I haven't heard it in a minute either.
Well, we thank everyone for joining us here today at Black Seinfeld. Again, if you'd like to reach out to us, if you'd like to give us a comment or ask us a question, if you were brave enough to leave us with music, please go to blackseinfeldny@gmail.com for all of that stuff. But also, don't forget to follow us on all of our platforms, such as Twitter, Black Seinfeld NY, TikTok, Black Seinfeld NY, and Instagram, Black Seinfeld NY. But also, don't forget to subscribe to us on all of our podcasting platforms, wherever they may be. And don't forget to share the wealth. You know, tell this to a friend, tell this to your relatives, tell this to your spouse. Let them know what we're doing over here. Bash, is there anything else you want to say before we disperse?
Check out Westworld Season 4. It is a great show. Better than Season 3 immediately. Like 3 episodes in, I'm having so much fun. Season 3, I have no idea what they're doing. But Season 4 has been pretty cool. So that's all I have to say.
My closing statements is shout out to my boo Kaylani. You came out on the other side. You did it with poise. You did it with grace. And, you know, I love to see the growth because Kaylani's from the Bay. And if she would have got up out that car and smacked that dude up, it would have been all over the internet. But, you know, Kaylani was just... I love Kaylani, man. I'm not going to lie. You know, 070 Shake, you are very lucky, my friend. And with that, I have nothing else to say. We are
You know
going.
what's first? You know what's funny thing? Just before we go,
Sure. What's up?
that's Herschel. That's Herschel Walker's son. You know that, right?
Wait, what?
I hope you. I don't know if you ever knew that, but that's Herschel Walker's son. That's Christian Walker.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
What the?
Herschel Walker out here saying wild, crazy stuff, and his son is this young Republican.
Yeah, it makes sense. Freaking Black Mile Yiannopoulos over here.
So, yeah, just in case, both of them are both on the news, and that dude's like 22 years old, by the way. So
yeah, yeah, he is. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But anyways, we're gonna head out with the Prince of Toxicity himself. This is Angel from Brent Faiyaz off of the latest album Wasteland. This is the last track off of the album. We'll be right back next week. Keep it locked. Once again, this is Black Seinfeld, the show about nothing. Laters.